In scanf, I have given 2%s, but in the list of variable, I am specifying only single character array. In general, what happens is, if star is not given, in general what happens is, first %s accepts a string and stores it into first variable. Second %s accepts a second string and is discarded. But to make first entry skipped and second to be considered as storing value in variable, you should go for a star. We can check this effect with example. In this program, the same code is given. Here I am accepting user's full name and I am skipping first entry by adding star with %s and considering second entry where only second entry is stored into variable. I am running this program to check its exact output. Initially, program shows enter your full name in form of first name space last name, and let me enter. I am writing my name, first word, then space and second word. So this is my entry. Now I am giving enter, where output is actually showing last entry as a stored value and first entry was omitted. So star sometimes becomes very helpful to skip entries. So what user feels is, I have given two values, but what program exactly considers is only first value is skipped and second value is considered. So to skip several values, star is very useful in scanf. You can practice on it. Now see another example. Here I have declared character string with 50 elements and I have also initialized it with some text called welcome you. Now in my program what I am writing is printf string. In case you don't know what is result, let us check programmatically. In this program I have written the same character string and initialization is different. Here it is written as welcome to my program and number of characters are definitely less than 50, so I am not going to get overflow here. Now what I am writing is printf string. Syntax of printf says you should have a format string and list of variables. These variable values are replaced and we get it as part of our format string. But see what happens to this program. If I am running this, it exactly shows output, welcome to my program. So in case you don't know, you can write this, but this does not clarifies that this is good practice. It is a shorthand practice. If you are in hurry, you can write this. But now what I am doing is, in my text I am writing %s as part of my text. I just want to display it, and %d as another text part. Now my string, what I want to display on screen is welcome %s to %d my program. Exactly, I want to display this string on screen. I am compiling this program and executing it and see the behavior. Welcome was perfect, but then it created some complications. Reason is, if your syntax only gives a variable name as part of parameter of printf, it takes a string value out of it and prints it. But unfortunately this time our string is almost similar to format string, but it does not get any list of parameters, and so it creates confusion. So you can do this, but you should avoid this. It runs somewhere, but it creates problem too. Now, one more advice to you all is, you might be knowing pre-increment, pre-decrement, as well as post-increment and post-decrement. Both the ways are good, but they have their own advantages and disadvantages. Running in a program, which is preferred? If you have a specific purpose, definitely exactly what you want is preferred. But if there is no specific purpose, then either incrementing or decrementing your variable, then pre-increment is preferred. Why pre-increment is preferred? Post-increment means you first get the value and then you increment it. Whereas in case of pre-increment, you increment your value and then if you want, you can get it. So algorithm of pre comprises single step of just incrementing, but algorithm of post is made up of couple of steps. First, taking value into temporary variable and then to actually increment it. So I'm showing a practical example exactly where should we use pre and where there is no difference. If I want to write this integer a is equal to 15 and b, and then if I'm doing this b is equal to a plus plus. In this case, exactly what you have written should be written, because here my intention is I want value of a as it is into b and then I want to increment it to 16. And here writing pre or post gives big difference. But somewhere in your program you are simply writing a plus plus and your intention is you just want to increment value of a by 1, then it is better to go for plus plus a, which will reduce your code. No doubt we are not looking at that optimum level, but in some cases questions are asked which is preferable, then these two cases are given. In first case exactly you should write a plus plus, but in second case writing plus plus a or a plus plus does not give any big difference, and that's why you should prefer writing pre-increment. This creates confusions, and in theory exam as well as in practicals we are unable to predict outcome as far as cases are given. On your screen a case is given 3 plus 4 into 5 / 6 into 7 plus 8 minus 9. What exact outcome you are expecting? We have studied the precedence of operator, but with that even we have to keep in mind associativity. In our precedence it is very clearly mentioned that multiplication and division are given higher priority. Addition and subtraction comes next. So in our example definitely multiplication and division are performed first, but then question comes, which is performed first, multiplication or division? Because in our precedence both are specified at the same level. And then comes the point called associativity. Associativity explains if precedence is at the same level, then you go in a sequence, operator comes. So in our example the solution shows first we are considering multiplication as well as division, but from left to right multiplication comes first, and so it is first multiplying 4 into 5, because with multiplication operator 4 and 5 these two operands are associated, and so it is simplified as 3 plus 20 by 6 into 7 plus 8 minus 9, and then next slash is interpreted because from left to right it comes next. Now 20 by 6 is not going to result in some floating point or real number. Reason is this is integer arithmetic. When both the operands are of same type, then you get same result. So here 20 and 6 are the operands for division operator, and type of 20 and 6 are called integer. When arithmetic is performed on integer, definitely results come as integer. If your operand, first operand is integer and second operand is real, then definitely it results in real. So operators generally give result equal to the type size involved. If two integers, outcome is integer. If two real, outcome is real. But if one integer and second real, definitely real has greater size and it results in real. So again slash is interpreted, next multiplication is interpreted, and then our example is 3 plus 21 plus 8 minus 9. Now multiplication and division both are solved out of entire statement. And so now next is addition and subtraction. Again problem is both come at the same level. So we are definitely starting from left and moving to right and solving all operators one by one, and that's why this results in 23. But be careful, some compilers, some odd compilers are not following this exactly. So on different compilers this might result differently. This is just a warning. Otherwise on your routine compiler you are going to get the same result. You might be knowing getS, but the another example, another function what available in your programming is fgetS. And sometimes this question is asked to me, which is better, getS or fgetS? Both are responsible to accept string from user. Simply in getS what we are specifying is address where exactly you want to accept and store string, and in fgetS also you have to specify the address exactly where you want to store your string. Then what is difference? You try to do this in your getS, you specify character array variable containing 20 characters size, and then try to enter more than 20 characters through getS and store it in your array and check what happens. What we believe is in C programming, when string is accepted, always strings are terminated by null, but size given is 20 and characters accepted are more than 20, then definitely your array is overflown and accepted results are continued to be stored onto next locations after your variable, and this is biggest problem with getS. On the contrary, fgetS is safe. Let us see how. See the syntax. In last line syntax is given. FgetS tells you give me address where you want to store as first parameter, size in integer as a second parameter, and definitely this size is related to how many characters you want to accept, and the third parameter you can consider it optional. By default keyboard is read, but third parameter also gives you independence to read from keyboard as well as file, and that's why it is asking for a buffer or stream from exactly where you want to read. So the same example which we can implement using getS can also be implemented using fgetS, but here we are on the safer side. In fgetS, second parameter limits fgetS to read number of characters. So again taking same example for fgetS, the first parameter is the array which is of 20 characters, and second parameter is 20 itself, and then if you run this command, fgetS is going to accept more number of characters definitely, but it stops reading buffer at the 19th character. Rest of characters are purged and null is added as last character to your string. So your given size is 20 characters, you are entering 30 characters. From given number of characters, 19 characters are read and string is definitely terminated with null. So that's how it goes. strlen is definitely a very famous function but here I want to mention a drawback. strlen is a very simple algorithm though, but problem is if we use in a way explained in example 1, then think of the situation if A contains 100 characters and you want to go from 0 to 100 using a first example. strlen is measured every time. Though strlen is very small algorithm, but writing it this way is increasing a number of lines to be executed and makes your program slower. It also occupies more number of resources even. So it is better to write in the shown example 2 and 3 way. 2 shows you directly write AX, where definitely you are trying to find whether you are reaching at the end of string or not. Or else another solution is you take length into variable and go from 0 to variable. That would be better option. So this is optimization trick you should remember, but this practical question is asked somewhere, why strlen is not preferred this way. Then that's the only reason. If we write in a way shown in number 1, then strlen program is executed every time you are iterative your loop. That's why. So many times it is explained in theory that if your code block contains only single line, then you need not to write opening and closing curly braces. Reason is the entire statement is ended with semicolon and you need not to make it as a block. But I would prefer you beautify your program, you arrange your program in terms of perfect tabbing, as well as for any code block, not only if, but you can take example of any other code block including loops even. Whenever you write your code block, you always add into opening and closing curly braces. If you don't write, compiler allows, but if you write, modification becomes easier. Right now you have if with a single statement, so you are not adding opening and closing curly braces, but in future you are modifying your logic, you are adding couple of more lines to the same if code block, but you forget to add opening and closing curly bracket. What will happen? It's going to give some misguiding outcomes, and to avoid this I would prefer